Welcome guys to this channel. Today we are going to be making carrot bread. It will be very nice. I have with me here 2 carrots that I already boiled and they are ready. These will give me a nice color and also add to the taste. I've got 1 egg and half a teaspoon of salt that I'm going to use some raisins. You can use any kind of raisins. Mine, it's a mix of the smaller raisins and the bigger ones. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter that I'm going to use, 5 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to use a tablespoon of yeast. This is how I keep my yeast, and I've got 100 mils of oil and 800 grams of flour. So straight away I get to the blender, put my carrots that are already boiled. So you can choose to put them in whole or go ahead and just put them whole. I've got half a cup of water that I'm going to add to the carrot and then put this to a blend. Now I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of yeast in about quarter a cup of water, and then to that I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. This is to help me prove that my yeast is still alive, but if it is not, then I can't use it. When you stir it up and find bubbles, then you know your yeast is okay to use, and it will actually rise and give you good bread at the end of the day. So all I'm doing right now is now I've transferred the yeast and the water in a bigger bowl, and to this I'm just going to add a mixture already done. There are some bubbles on there, so I'll count on those to work for me. So now I'm going to transfer our carrots. That are blended to the yeast, and I'll add egg, the butter and sugar and the oil, and then salt, and then together just knead to a dough that will give me that bread that I'm looking for, the carrot bread. So to that I've added the egg, I'm going to add the sugar, and mix really well, and the oil. This should give me good, nice, soft bread at the end of the day. Now slowly by slowly I'm going to be adding the flour. And then mixing until you get a really nice dough that you can work with. In here I'm also going to add the salt. That is half a teaspoon of salt, and then I'll add that flour and knead to a dough, including the butter. Now I've put some flour in here, and I'm going to knead until it's more of a dough than flour. And once every other ingredient has combined, then I'll transfer to a work area and knead until it's more together and not sticking to my hands. See that color? It comes from boiling your carrot. You can choose to do with your carrots not boiled, but I like the color that comes from when I boil the carrots. My dough is sticking less to my hand, so I'll transfer to a work area and sprinkle some flour, keep it from sticking, and then transfer it. So I'm going to do the kneading from the ground. Now remember, we have raisins. I've not forgotten about them. I'm just going to add them when I'm kneading the second time. So right now it's just to work the dough and get it to a nice and smooth, dough. Now once it is nice and smooth, I will get a clean bowl and then oil it very well and transfer my dough. So I've got myself a clean bowl and I'm just going to add some oil to it, just enough to oil the bowl. What I'm going to do is just run my fingers in the bowl, just to make sure the oil is all over the bowl, and then I'll transfer the dough to the bowl. And I'll let this sit, but see what I'm doing is trying to stir it up, and then I'll flip it again so that both sides are oiled enough and have a chance to rise. Now I'm just going to put cling film over the dough and let this sit in a dark place, warm dark place, and allow it to proof before I return to the dough. This could take about 30 minutes. Dough has been sitting for about, proofing for about 30 minutes. Time for me to press it again and try and make buns out of it. Now all I'm doing is trying to get the extra oils that are stuck on the bowl to get in the dough. And I'll put some raisins to this. That bread with raisins really kids like a lot. So you go on and knead the dough with the raisin inside. And the raisins you put to your preference. If you really want bread with lots of raisins, go ahead and put. I've used about quarter a cup of raisins for this recipe. Now once you see the oil around the bowl is over, then you transfer to the work area and you start kneading with a sprinkling of a little bit of flour. Not so much so that it can rise really well. Now I'm powdering the area that I'm going to work on, and then transferring my dough, and then here is where I will knead to a really nice dough that is going to be used. I'm pressing all the air out, and then I'll have to cut out the buns that I'm going to make out of my dough. This will be good for breakfast. You can have it as an evening snack. This is how our dough has turned out. Time for me to size out and make the buns. Now this is how I size out my dough. I press, hold, and get this round shape. Now what I'm going to do is tray, and I've got my sheet. I'll try and oil it and then put the bread on there. Now I'm going to cover this for another 20 minutes, and then I'll brush my dough with bread with some eggs. Now after they've proofed for about 10 more minutes, you just go on and brush some eggs. This is just one whole egg that I beat. Time for me to take this to the oven and let it do its thing. Now our buns have been in and are ready now to take out, and this is how they look. Guys, these will be good for breakfast. They will be good as an evening treat. You just have them with your favorite topping, whether it's butter or you want to have them with jam. They will be good to take down. You can see traces of raisins in there because we used them while we're baking. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing. Those of you who shared the link, thank you so much. Until next time when we make yet another one. Bye bye guys, and take care.